if you actually turn the map up, if you want to turn it upside down, because we're actually at Ginchy, facing, that's Guillemont that way, right? And you see the red line through it, look, that means you're leaving the town, so we're leaving Ginchy. But just to give you an idea of the layout, if you just turn the map back around again, just to give you a layout of the troops trying to get to here, okay? First of all, we're talking about the 48th Division, okay? They were, and the 48th Brigades, they were over here. If this road was the archery, this is where they all brought in the whole concept of bounds, moving within bounds, right? So this was the boundary between the 48th Brigade and we had the 47th Brigade, of which the 16th Irish Division were part of it. You know what I mean? So on to the right of the road and to the left of the road, then we had the 48th Division. Now the point about it is, lads, just turn around for a second. Yeah. Okay. On just a bit of a prelude, first of all, lads, to what happened here. All right. On the 3rd of September 1916, the 7th Division had captured the village of Ginchy, here beside us. All right. Before being forced out within hours by the German counterattack. Several attacks by the 7th Division during the 4th and the 5th of September were also driven back by the Germans. On the 7th of September, the 7th Division was replaced by the 16th Irish Division, which also included the 6th Battalion of the Royal Irish Regiment, sometimes referred to as Johnny Redmond's pets. Johnny Redmond was a member of the Irish Parliament. For those of you who may or may not have come across the concept of Irish pets, or the Irish pets, the whole of Redmond's pets was the whole idea of he found it easier to recruit Irishmen that came from the same villages or same, you know what I mean, brothers, uncles, all that type of stuff. But that had a knock-on devastating effect when you talk about casualties, because you ended up with whole sections of villages, townships and all were wiped out. Okay, so that's where that whole concept of it was easier to recruit relations and whatever. So 0 hour for the attack of Ginchy was set for 1645, which is, in November. It's nearly dark, and the reason for that, why? To deny because up to now, remember what I said to you before, on the 3rd, 4th and 5th, they were done in around midday, early morning, midday, and by the time you took it, the Germans counter-attacked. So what they decided to do then was, at 16:45, quarter to five in the day, they decided to launch a near night attack, all right, to deny the Germans the counter-attack, which had some success, because on the 9th, for the last minute, the orders were dispatched delaying the attack by 2 minutes to allow further bombardment of the German lines here in Ginchy. Okay, the German units involved were the 1st to the 19th battalions of the Bavarian infantry. The 47th Brigade received the change orders and stood fast. However, the 48th Brigade of the 16th Division did not and advanced as scheduled, which resulted in catastrophic heavy losses sustained that day. When you think about it, between the Battle of Ginchy and Guillemont ahead of us, they had 8,500 Irishmen belonged to the 16th Division. 8,500. We're talking about 3 or 4 days later, 3,500 were gone. Okay, so we're back down to about 5,000. They eventually had to go back to Kilkenny and try and augment the brigade or the division afterwards, because it was decimated. All right. In the front trenches, with the orders to take the first objective, which is a battle line straight through the centre of Ginchy, was the 7th Royal Irish. In the supporting trenches, with orders to take the second objective, which is the area around the Ginchy telegraph. Now, the Ginchy telegraph road, you have the T-junction here. There used to be a telegraph bunker and a telegraph, for the village. You used to send away their post or whatever. That was the objective, and that was in this field here. Okay. The first phase of the attack, then, all right. The first flanking battalion, including the 1st Royal Munsters, suffered very heavy officer casualties with an inability to advance. Without adequate leadership, they lost direction and went beyond their objective with an order to dig in. In other words, they went straight through the telegraph, went straight on and kept going on towards Guillemont. All right. The left battalion, which included the 7th Royal Irish Regiment, luckily met less resistance and had very few casualties. The second phase, the right battalion, including the 8th Royal Dublin Fusiliers, reached the second objective here, around at 1745. So remember that they started at 1645, and 3/4 of an hour later they had reached their objective. Okay, so you can actually see there had been some sort of no idea of or concept of counterattack. All right, so that kind of rationale worked without encountering opposition. The left battalion, including the 9th Royal Dublin Fusiliers, suffered very heavy casualties, including the battalion commander. Battalion commander now, right? Captain J. Murphy. So you can understand the concept of, you know, Lieutenant Colonel normally, but they just ran out of very senior officers. The battalion, without its commander, carried on beyond the objective, chasing and retreating, here on the left battalion, retreating German soldiers, but were brought back in order to consolidate the hard-won success. So it's all about the, you know, the bit of elastic, lads. You know what I mean? You can't keep going on to Guillemont because they didn't have enough backup and resource. It would have broke that elastic. Conclusion: despite the popular image of the Battle of the Somme being a total failure, the Battle of Ginchy was considered a minor success, and it did alter some of the strategies about, you know, attacking full frontals during the day, although an expensive one in terms of catastrophic casualties. One of the casualties killed here in Ginchy was Lieutenant Tom Kettle. Now Tom was from Artane in Dublin, and he again, now here's the Pets battalion concept coming in again. He again was educated in Clongowes Wood in Clane. Did I not mention Clongowes Wood already? Remember? Lieutenant John Holland up in Guillemont. So you can actually see a whole class of guys from Clongowes Wood joined up in the Royal Commission. All right. But he wrote a poem, a very famous poem to his daughter, and just read out the last verse of it because it's very relevant and I think very poignant. Okay, it says, "And so here, while the mad guns curse overhead, and tired men sigh with mud for couch and floor, know that we fools, now with the foolish dead, did not die for flag, nor king, nor emperor, but for a dream, born in a herdsman's shed, and for the secret scripture of the poor." Very strong words. That's, in other words, they weren't fighting for the king, they weren't fighting for the emperor, nor the flag, they were fighting for each other. Okay, the poor Irishmen stuck inside the field in France. Okay, guys.
There's a monument, lads, at Kettle there, and you see the green fucking, what do you call it, park as well there. Yeah. Right over, in or around there. That's it. Kettle was one of the founding members of the fucking the Irish Volunteers. He was one of them. He was an nationalist.
Yeah. Well, he was the one, yeah, because they were promised, you know, that Redmond promised them they'd look favourably on home rule.
That home rule business there. That's why then they obviously signed up.
Until the lads went along in 1916.
Yeah, and then they